Hello, everyone, and welcome to Qtric's second annual Zero Emission Bus Technologies and Transit Operations Conference. My name is Magali Frenette, and I am one of the Membership Success Officers at Qtric. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the sponsor exhibit with ZEV Clean Power, a new initiative from MTB Transit Solutions. I'm joining you today from Neuville in the province of Quebec, and in the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that we live, work, and play on the traditional territories of the Huron-Wendat Nation. I would like to thank MTB Solutions for being such an engaged and dedicated member. And to tell us more about ZEV Clean Power, please welcome Gara A., President at MTB Transit Solutions. Gara is a regular speaker at our conferences, and it is my pleasure to welcome him today. So, Gara, the floor is all yours.
Great. Thank you, Magali. Hi, everybody. I want to start off by thanking Qtric for this great conference. My name is Gara Hay. I'm the president of MTB Transit Solutions in Milton. If you've not heard about ZEV Clean Power before, today I'm going to give you a quick overview of the initiative. For many of you on the call, you may have seen this a presentation from me before on ZEV Clean Power, or we've made a presentation directly to your transit authority. Today, I want to show you that we've made significant progress on our project, and I'll be able to show you today. So before we start, I want to give you a little overview about who MTB is. So we're North America's leading repair, refurb, and now repower specialist. All we do are buses. Our whole business is supporting the transit and coach bus business in North America. We've been doing this a long time. We've been in business since the early 70s. We've worked on thousands of buses in our history. We've seen every make, model that you can imagine. We have a very skilled workforce. We have a big facility, 110,000 square feet on 10 acres of land in Milton. This would be the largest non-transit repair facility in Canada and one of the largest in North America. 60 dedicated bays, so we have a lot of space to do work, and recently became ISO 9001 certified. The project ZEV has been in the works for a couple of years now, and the objective was to produce Canada's first diesel to battery electric bus repower and conversion. So the project started. Our first goal was to complete a demo bus. That demo pilot bus was important so that we could prove out to ourselves and to our customers that this project was capable, and also to build out our supply chain. So I'm excited to tell you that the demo is now complete. As you can see the picture of the bus in our facility in Milton. That is a 2005 New Flyer bus that we fully converted from diesel to battery electric power. That bus is operating. We're just going through final testing right now of that bus, but it's ready to show and ready to test drive right now. Here's some more pictures of that bus. As you can see in the top right-hand corner, this model that we did is a plug-in in depot style. We also have provision to be able to do overhead charging if you require. But one thing is, when you see this bus, from the pictures, and if you come and have a look at it, you can feel very confident that the layout and the components of this bus are very similar to the new OEM models. We've had experts come in and have a look at our bus, and they can't believe how similar the performance and the layout is to buying a new bus, OEM bus. The similarities between this bus and the OEM bus are very evident. It's a very clean, quiet. The performance is very similar, and the economic benefits of riding this bus versus a new OEM bus are very similar. When we set out on this demo project, we had to build a supply chain, and we quickly realized that Canada has a tremendous network of tier 1 EV suppliers. So we're very proud for this demo bus that we're able to support the electric industry in Canada that will support good job growth for this pilot bus. We showed this slide to many politicians, federal, provincial, municipal over the last couple of years, and they're all blown away by the fact that we've been able to pull this project off and support Canadian initiatives for this project. We're also working hard with local schools, colleges, and universities. We have apprenticeship programs, and also working with high voltage training with some of the local schools in the Toronto area. The benefits we feel repowering are very obvious, but I want to share a few of them with you right now. If you're a medium or large size transit operator, this program wasn't developed to replace purchasing of new electric or hydrogen buses. We know that is needed to be able to hit your GHG goals. What we're going to do is we're going to support you. So as you're buying these new cleaner buses in your procurement process, we're going to be able to come in and repower some of the older diesel buses that still have a lot of life in them. They just need a cleaner propulsion. And the goal is to help you achieve your GHG reduction goals sooner. For a smaller transit agency, think about if you have 20, 40, maybe 60 buses in your fleet, diesel buses in your fleet. This may be a great way to start your journey down the EV path. You may not have the financials or the personnel or expertise to go to a full-blown conversion. Repowering one or two of your diesel buses may be a great way to start and show to your politicians and to your riders that you're committed to having cleaner propulsion on your equipment. One of the real big benefits is the turnaround. A converted bus will take 6 months to complete. And one question we're asked a lot is about gross vehicle weight. So there is absolutely no change to the gross vehicle weight of the bus. So you give us a diesel bus, we weigh the bus, we remove the diesel components, weigh those components, and then the amount of pounds we put back in on batteries and electric components will match what we took out in diesel components. So there's not going to be any change to any of your licensing or administration for your GVW of your bus. Very important. There's also going to be no change to your seat layout or capacity. So the cab of the bus stays intact. So there's no impact on ridership on that side. On the supply chain, we think there's some really great benefits to repowering an existing bus you have. Your drivers are going to you're going to give us I'd say a New Flyer or Nova bus. We're going to give you back that same New Flyer or Nova bus will be returned to you, it'll be cleaner and it'll be easier to ride. So your drivers are going to feel really comfortable. They're going to step back into that same bus that they maybe been driving for years. The valves and the controls are going to be all in the exact same place. It's just going to be a much cleaner ride and a much quieter ride. For your mechanical team, they're not going to have to get retrained and bring a bunch of new parts in if you have to do when you bring in a new OEM. You're going to have the same parts, the same conversion processes that you've had in the past. It's just going to be less parts to work on because there's less moving parts on this bus. So we think on the supply chain, it's a much easier transition. Again, giving us your old bus, we're going to give you basically the same bus back. Up to 100% of the capital costs are going to be returned to you in savings. So the capital cost to convert the bus will be more than paid for in your operating and fuel savings down the road. We've got some really good modeling available to show you on how those savings will transpire. And there's really good funding available, and I'll show you that on the next screen. You may have heard, if you're on the call yesterday with Infrastructure Canada, the funding and financing available to the transit agencies are really great. We did lobbying back a couple of years ago with Infrastructure Canada with then Minister McKenna, and her team really loved this project. And in fact, they, as part of the ZETF guide that was put out last August, it's on page 6, it says, you can use the funding that you get from Infrastructure Canada for retrofits of conventional fuel buses to zero-emission buses are eligible. So funding that you get from Infrastructure Canada can be used for a variety of projects and needs, but one of them that they can be used for is this project. Also with CIB and financing, I think the CIB financing is a great program where they give you low cost loans and your payment is off the savings that you get. CIB has confirmed that you can use financing from them to do ZEV repowering of your buses. So, which we think is really great because again, your payment plan is only off the savings, and we can show very clearly that there's absolute savings when you do take on this repowered bus relative to diesel. And some of you may have used the Green Municipal Fund in the past through FCM. That funding is still available, where you can they will provide funding for pilot projects up to $500,000 to cover half of the cost. And even if you have a smaller municipality, say less than 20,000 people, you can get that up to 80% of the cost. So we feel really confident that there's some really good funding and financing available that all groups have said, yes, ZEV, the repowering of buses is eligible for funding. So as I end here today, I'm closing. I hope you can see just quickly that there's some really great environmental and economic benefits of repowering your buses with ZEV Clean Power. If you've not met with us yet, please give us a call, send us an email. We have a presentation that dives deeper into the technical and financial benefits of our program. If we have met you before, it's time to reconnect. Let's talk about a test drive, and let's take on the next steps to getting some of your buses repowered.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Gara. And thank you for the great presentation about this awesome option, and also for bringing up the funding and financing option that is such a concern for our transit agencies across the country. So I got a few really good questions that came up, and I'd like to start with the first one. When will MTB Transit Solution be ready to begin converting transit authorities' buses from diesel to battery electric?
Yeah, that's good. So we're ready now. As I said, we've proven out that our ability to do this conversion. If you want to give us contact us, we can do a fleet analysis to determine which buses we feel would be perfect for this conversion. We'll look at the duty cycles and the age of the bus, and then we'll quickly give you a quote and timeline that hopefully we can get back in place and get some approvals, and we can get buses repowered, starting in 2023 into your fleet.
Okay, so it's coming up. That's great. Excellent. Second question here. Will MTB Solution be looking at diesel to hydrogen conversion as well? This is something we have heard a lot yesterday. So what is your thought on that?
Yes, absolutely. We've already talked to a couple of transit agencies about a diesel to hydrogen conversion. A lot of the work we did, the engineering and assembly work that we did on diesel to battery electric is very transferable to go to diesel to hydrogen. So we feel very confident that, again, the work we've done will be very easily transferred. Also, in the last while, we've started to build out our supply chain on hydrogen. So we have agreements to have fuel cell and hydrogen storage tanks ready to go.
Absolutely. Offering a second option for transit agencies. That's awesome. Thank you. Can you please speak a little bit more about the ROI calculation on this project? This is something that came up in the Q&A chat. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, we think the ROI is really strong. And again, as I said in the presentation, we've got some modeling that we've done to show you, your base cost to run a bus for a 15 or 18-year life relative to the cost to run a repowered bus. And it's very strong. It's a positive ROI. The reason is, there's going to be a capital cost for the repower, but if you do it at the right time, the transit authority is going to be able to skip the diesel overhaul that happens once or twice in the life of a bus, so that goes away. And then, the fuel cost, electricity is much cheaper than diesel, and the maintenance. There's virtually no maintenance on the engine, on the batteries. So, so there's very positive ROI, and that is even before there's funding and financing available. So, it's a really good economic package. If you throw financing and funding on top of that, the economics are even better.
Excellent. I think this is such a great closing note, and I think you'll receive a lot of calls from our audience asking, how much does this cost? So hopefully the phone will ring a lot in the coming days. So thank you so much. We came to the end. Thank you, Gara, for sharing with us this great solution. I'd like to say that if people want to continue the dialogue, you can join us at the networking session at 3:30 today Eastern Time. And make sure that you visit the booth of ZEV Clean Power. And thank you so much, everyone. Stay tuned. So after the break, we have Dr. Oliver Trecasse from University of Toronto. So thank you very much, Gara, and see you very soon.